Well, good morning, everybody. I say good morning, you're watching this in the evening, or if you're on YouTube, you're watching this at any time. But it's Tuesday today, and I'm off to hospital to give blood, which is my want. And so it's just a little prick, they say, as I walk in. Anyway, there you go. So while it's all going on in Afghanistan, and the Love Island final is going on, and all this other business, we have to look very carefully at a decision by the BBC to appoint, now I've got his name down here somewhere, let's have a look, Clive Myrie. Clive, who's a black man, he's going to be presenting Mastermind. And you know what? I couldn't think of a better person to do it, following old Grumpy Humphreys, who's been done it for 19 years. Before that, it was Robin Day, wasn't it? I've started, so I'll finish, so Robin Day. Anyway, Clive has got the job, and I think he's superb at it. Not only is he superb at it, but my friend, who's also of the same complexion, a brilliant comedian called Miles Crawford, is preparing to rejoin for the third series, I think, of Sunday Night Live on Ustream. And he now fits perfectly into the Mastermind sketches that we're doing. Okay, so it's not just racial profiling. No, it's he's now matches Clive perfectly, and he's a very funny comedian. I think Clive is a brilliant broadcaster, and Clive, someone will show you this hopefully on YouTube if you watch dreary old comedians. But I'm thrilled for you, and please don't take any notice if anyone says it's a box ticking exercise. I mean, it works both ways. If you give someone a job that's no good just to tick a box, then fair enough. But I think you're very, very good at what you do, and I like listening to you when you do the news. You always look slightly pissed off when you see bad news, which is quite good. Of course, the other disturbing news is for all comedians and entertainers, and I say this after I just read the reports of Paul Eastwood's funeral. A tragic, sudden death for a brilliant comedian who was going right to the top. And of course, Sean has gone. And they say these things come in free, but you couldn't be any more bizarre than this. A comedian, let's have a look at his name here. If they have such a thing in Afghanistan, right, he's a comedian. His name was Nazar Mohammed, better known as Qazi Zwan. Qazi Zwan. He even gave himself a funny name. No, Kasha, not Qazi, that's the toilet, isn't it? Anyway, he looked like the late Chuckle. He looked like one of the Chuckle brothers. Bless him, the brilliant Chuckle brothers. One sadly no longer with us. And he has been taken off, a film of him being taken off by the Taliban. And they laughing their heads off at him and then shot him. So all the comedians watching this, don't do a gig in Afghanistan, and be careful of people on the front row, because when they're laughing, just check they've not got a Kalashnikov sitting on their laps. And talking of Afghanistan, just briefly before we move on, there's a question that has to be asked. If we are letting people on these flights that have a no-flight status, what's going to happen when they get here? We can't just say, oh, sorry, we've let you in by mistake and throw you out. No, you can't throw people back to a war zone like this. It's crazy. So what are we going to do? Why are the Taliban so pissed off with translators? Don't they going to need translators? They're going to need translators, aren't they, to deal with Sleepy Joe and Boris and everybody. Boris sort of speaks English, doesn't he, in a fashion. They're going to need people to sort this out. So I hope they get a grip. And people are saying the Taliban are changed. And other people that have been there. I've been there, but I haven't seen any Taliban. I've seen various Afghani tribes that share a tooth, but I haven't seen any Taliban. All I know is that they kill comedians, so I'm buggered if I'm going anywhere near the bloody place. But just let's see how they go on. Do we give them time? It's very interesting for me to say that, because none of my loved ones and people are still there. But what I will urge the government to do, there's an ex-Marine called Farthing, Penn Farthing. Okay, here's the deal. He had a charity out there looking after animals, and that's typical of someone that's been in combat and seen the waste of human life, to turn his efforts to looking after animals that are helpless, really. And him and his 20 staff out there, he'd arranged for a privately funded aeroplane to bring him back and his team and their families and the animals back to Britain. Privately funded, wouldn't cost the taxpayer anything, and apparently the MOD are giving him the finger at the moment. And let's hope that someone at MOD, not just the brilliant Chief of Defence Staff and the Defence Minister, there's some of you little undergarments, get a grip, and let's get Farthing back with his animals and his people. Let's show the world we leave no one on the battlefield. Unfortunately, we will be leaving people on the battlefield, and we've got to try and persuade Sleepy Joe to try and move the deadline beyond 31st of August, or we're going to lose a lot of good people that were great to this country, the people that belong in this country. I'm not talking about the 800 people that came across the channel illegally the other day who give us nothing but want to take everything. No. We're talking about people that have risked their lives to save British soldiers and British civilian charity and aid workers and non-government offices. You know what I'm saying. Let's bring in the people that help us, and let's keep out the people that want to take from us. Okay, I'll see you a bit later on Ustream as I now talk to my members. Right, folks, sorry about that. I forgot to tell you something important. Because of the withdrawal of our forces and American forces and coalition forces from Afghanistan, a lot of the veterans that I've been used to hanging around with over the years are starting to get a bit fidgety. I can't put my finger on it, but they're a bit agitated. They're asking, was it all worth it? Well, what we've done, we've reinstated the Ustream Veterans Fund. There's a link here that you will see. Have a look for the link, see if you can get to the page, and let's show if we can show support to these guys with our wallets and our credit cards. Wow, they really do deserve it. If anyone deserves anything that's been to Afghanistan, they do. Don't you worry about that. So help me, help them. And don't forget, some veterans are still struggling. They are. They're still fighting for their lives. So help us at Ustream, help them. And it'll all go to great veteran charities that we choose.